Greetings to you all from Mukhi Sandhanam, Tamil translator of the Gospel of Buddha and the modern Buddha U.G. Krishnamurti, with whom I had been associated for 3 years. It's a privilege and a joy to share with you a few words within the limited time for the YouTube created by my friend Krishna Jayant, an undying fan of UG, who according to him saved him from the fake Swamijis. By chance, which is nothing but destiny, I stumbled into this Uppaluru Gopala Krishnamurti, endearingly called UG by us, in the year 2003. I was mesmerized and enlightened by his authentic voice for 3 summers at the residence of his long-time host Mr. Chandrasekhar of Bengaluru, where I was working as a central government official. My senior colleague Mr. Frank Norona introduced me to UG. This chance meeting led me finally to the translation of UG Krishnamurti into Tamil, titled UG Krishnamurti Oru Vaalkai. The original author in English is a famous filmmaker and the lifelong friend of UG, Mr. Mahesh Bhatt. The English title is UG Krishnamurti, A Life, a Penguin Release. The Tamil publisher is Kannadasan Padipagam of Chennai. My own words taken out of this book, written as a translator's note, will give you a glimpse of what UG is. I quote, "Have you ever heard the oracle? Have you seen its faceless face? I was blessed with this too when I saw and heard this unusual man called UG in his last years. If one gets an opportunity to meet and converse with rare leaders of mankind and great intellectuals, it would of course make him feel proud. But to see a genuine sage and hear his unearthly words in one's lifetime is designed by destiny." Unquote. I did not meet Buddha, whom I saw only in his words, but instead met UG, who is a modern incarnation of Buddha, who dismissed soul. Both discovered that people all along mistook thought, otherwise called mind, for the soul. I am not here to talk elaborately about UG and his life. Now his biography, views are all open to the public in a dozen books written on him, like Mystic of Enlightenment, Mind is a Myth, The Courage to Stand Alone, Biology of Enlightenment, UG Krishnamurti, A Life, and so on, besides his audios and videos on YouTube, where his voice resonates. In this brief time, I can only give a feel of UG from my association with him, whom I not only heard but touched with my hands, or he touched me in turn with affection. The first meeting with UG, who some people called a cosmic terrorist, was not a smooth affair, and I became a fodder for his fire. "Sir, is there a meaning to life?" was my question. His reply was shockingly abusive. "This is one of the most idiotic questions asked of me all over the world. There is no meaning to life." On calling me an idiot and I being hurt, I was half risen from my seat to go out and not to return to see this man again. But his accompanying sentence stopped me in my track and made me sit again. "Even if there is a meaning to life, there is no way of yourself knowing it." Then I continued to listen to his pregnant and torrential words for 3 consecutive years and became finally his spiritual slave. I found in his words not only the teachings of Buddha but also the wisdom of my Tamil Siddhas and sages. In fact, I considered UG as one of our Tamil Siddhas, known for their unconventional outbursts and ungodly teachings. Once I told him, Yuji, you are one among our Tamil Siddhas. But he, with his bent wrist, as one could see in the dance of Shiva, dismissed it, saying, don't put this bird in any cage. Its song is different, its melody is different, and its tune is different. Let the bird fly. In fact, all the genuine sages are different in their own ways. No sage repeats the words of other sages. Even if it looks like a repetition, it is a result of their own discovery. Nobody says the sun is bright by borrowing somebody's words. The brightness in one's own experience is there. It is called Anubhuti in Tamil and Sanskrit. However, Yuji had a soft corner for Tamil language, though he is a Telugu by birth. Because he studied in Madras Presidency College in those days at Chennai and later became an international lecturer for Theosophical Society Chennai, he was conversant with Tamil. That was a time when the other Krishnamurti, namely Jiddu Krishnamurti, left the society. Whenever I entered his group in Bangalore, he warmly welcomed me and seated me by his side and requested me to sing some Tamil Siddhas songs. Accordingly, I recited them from Tirumular, Taimanavar, Pattinatthar, Sivavakyar and so on. I was sure all these sages concurred with what Yuji said. In fact, I rediscovered the true meaning of the words of Tamil Siddhas only with the lamp of Yuji. This poem from Tirumular was given a heavy assenting nod by Yuji when I recited it. உள்ளம் பெருங்கோயில் ஊனுடம்பு ஆலயம் மள்ளல் பிரானுக்கு வாய் கோபுரவாசல் தெள்ளத் தெளிந்தார்க்கு சீவன் சிவலிங்கம் கள்ளப் புலக்குரம்பை காளா மணிவிளக்கே. On hearing this rhythmic song on human body, Yuji asked me to translate this into English for the benefit of those non-Tamils, including some foreigners. Loosely translated, it runs like this. Heart is the big temple. Body is the shrine. Mouth is the holy entrance. Life is the sanctum sanctorium for those freed from the slavery of thought. Senses are the faultless lamp. For Yuji, body is immortal and there is no death to body. Though clinically dead, the body with its atomic cell changes its form. Even if one's body is cut into pieces and thrown into the sea, the fish will eat it. And the human cells live in fish. There is a death only to the thought. When Yuji clinically died in 1967 in his 49th year in Sanin Valley of Switzerland and came back to life by some miracle, he was left with beat, pulse and throb of life. That is, in the explosion that took place all over his body on that occasion, thought stopped its usual movement and fell in its natural rhythm. That is, his body was freed from the stranglehold of thought, a favorite phrase of Yuji. In fact, we are all slaves of thought, while in Yuji, thought became his slave. Let us see what Yuji says on this. From that earthquake, explosion, lightning that took place in me, all man had thought, felt, experienced so far has been thrown out of my system, and I came into my natural state. This natural state is a man's virginal state, and in due course, thought took possession of the body and mischief started. Without the manipulation of thought, the body with its natural intelligence will look after itself. Look at the animals. They survive with their bodily intelligence. Look at the thinking of man, who produced 2 world wars and still engaged in internal wars. Thought is your enemy, Yuji proclaimed loudly. When questioned whether one could by efforts become thoughtless, he said no, as no effort or volition of yours would bring it about. Then how did he come into this state? By luck, he smiled and added, you are genetically programmed that way. Also added that it happens to 1 in a billion. This natural state is the end product of human evolution. Instead of calling this as enlightenment, he called it calamity. He explained that by coming into this unexpected state, he had to abandon his family, children, or relationship, possessions, and the assured bliss was not there. I do not lose a friend whom I do not have, he famously said after that calamity. All your relationships are ugly. It rests on the mutual benefit of what you get out of each other. Once it is not there, you become the worst enemies. Love and hatred are two sides of the same coin, he asserted. Whenever I heard Yuji's story, sometimes through his mouth, I immediately remembered Sri Ramana Maharishi. He underwent the similar experience in his uncle's Madurai residence when he was 17 years old. Something happened to his body and he felt he was dying, and some greater force in him took control and he survived and came to this natural state like that of Yuji. The simile used by Ramana was slightly different. It was like an elephant entering into a hut, Ramana said later. But Yuji, with the scientific knowledge, explained it as the displacement of cells in the human body, and the neurotic imbalance in this body was set right after this explosion. According to him, the thinker is a patient who suffers from neurotic imbalance. See what man has made of this heavenly earth. He has turned this heaven into a hell by his thought. He also called man a virus. I connect it today to coronavirus. And he said, and he condemned man's dominance over nature, and he said, man is no more than the mosquito that sucks your blood in the scheme of larger universe. Is there any hope for mankind? No, says Yuji, so far as one is a slave to thought, and to be freed from this stranglehold of thought is not in his hands too. It has to happen, referring to mutation of the body, which happens only to a few individuals. In the whole history of mankind, you can count such persons on one's fingers, he said, and he refused to name them publicly. You want to imitate them, he scolded. You cannot be me, he said. With the same breath, he said, everybody is unique. But by wanting to become somebody else, he destroys the uniqueness and prevents the blossoming. Nature only creates, but man imitates. That includes the great poet Shakespeare, he said. He further explained that you cannot call your thought your own. There is a world mind from which your antenna called brain receives the thought. Your brain is only a reactor and not a creator. Yuji talked of all subjects from disease to divinity, but it is no better than that of the sweeper in the street, he said. Yuji, unlike the so-called rich Bhagavans, lived like an ordinary man, creating no ashrams and no institution. So ultimately, is there no message from Yuji? No, he said, and added, I am no messiah to liberate you. But on close scrutiny, one could find there is a message for everyone. For me, this was a message. If your needs and goals are same, then your life becomes simple and interesting. But man is greedy, and there is a reason, and that is a reason for the chaos in the world as well as in one's life. He is also dubbed as the prophet of doom. But again, on close scrutiny, one could find there is hope in his so-called hopelessness statement. You live in hope and die in hope, remaining one of the eternal hell described by Dante in his Divine Comedy. What UG meant was, you run after the spiritual goons and market gurus who promise you heaven, and ultimately your spiritual shopping ends in failure and your hope gets dashed. If you are left with this hopelessness in you and not moving anywhere, then perhaps something could happen to you. This reminded me of Sivavakya's song, another sage, Tamil sage. வேணும் 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 என்று வீண் உழன்று தேடுவீர், வேணும் என்ற அப்பொருள் உம்மதல்லது இல்லையே, வேணுமென்று தேடுகின்ற வேட்கையை துறந்தபின் வேணும் என்ற அப்பொருள் வரைந்து காணலாகுமே. There is a matching sentence by UG. When your search comes to an end, perhaps something could happen to you. This perhaps is in the hands of life force, a pet word of UG. So, after meeting UG, my spiritual shopping has come to an end, and I am stuck with my hopelessness. At the same time, I am watching UG's words, throw in the towel. In Tamil and Sanskrit, it is called Saranagati. That is surrender. UG, I surrender to you, who is a Jivan Mukta. Thank you.